Texas getting a win over TCU. Final score was 29-26. The Longhorns finding a way for another week now to keep their eyes on the prize and keep their college football playoff hopes alive, keep their Big 12 title hopes alive. But they got Quinn Ewers back in the fold now. A little bit rusty, sure, but all in all, take a win. You don't make any complaints about it. We'll talk about it right now. First things first, make sure you subscribe right here to the On3 YouTube channel, college football and only college football Longhorn fans. We here on the channel, we've had a lot of y'all join. We're glad to have you here. We're throttling towards 200K subs, just like y'all are throttling towards college football playoff berth and a Big 12 title. So let's do this thing together. We appreciate y'all in advance for being dialed in. You got Quinn Ewers back. And was it perfect? No, a little bit rusty, 22 of 33, 317, a touchdown, one pick. It is what it is. But I think it's very obvious when we watch Quinn Ewers sling the pill around the yard, the potential this offense has with the weapons. Like, you are back now to a point where you are as dangerous as you can be with him running the show because you have access to all these weapons. You have Xavier Worthy to the nth degree, his potential available. You have Adonai Mitchell, a one-on-one nightmare. And that's the thing, too. You can't play man-to-man across the board with Texas and win. You can't. We saw it yesterday with Xavier Worthy, 10 catches, 137 yards. Adonai Mitchell, 3 catches, 61, big-time touchdown. And that third catch he had was the game winner to put the whole thing on ice. Like, he has made so many plays this year. Top of my head, 3 different plays this year that have been the differentiating factor in those games. Alabama comes to mind. The way that he played against Kansas State last week, this game, like, he has been a difference maker. Credit Steve Sarkisian and his staff for going out and attacking the portal and adding another piece to make their offense that much more potent. Now, up front, Jonathan Brooks. Hate to see him leave the game. You hope he's okay. But when it comes to what they did running the football, that was the difference last night. And I think for them, for Texas, that is, when it comes to their college football playoff run and Big 12 title run, that's what makes this team dangerous, is they can now line up in the trenches, whoever's playing back for them, and be able to move that line of scrimmage. That was the difference against Alabama in week 2. That was the difference last night. Now, defensively, kind of a tale of 3 quarters and 1 quarter. As a whole, you played really well for the majority of 3 quarters, then kind of had some issues finishing there in the 4th quarter. And that's kind of where I want to settle in here and talk about this Texas game. The good and bad news is it's not a matter of ability. Like, from an ability standpoint, the roster is built at this point in time in the trenches, on the perimeter, at quarterback, to go and achieve everything you want to achieve. The frustrating part now is the last couple of games, without Quinn Ewers in the lineup, granted, 3 of the last 4 weeks have been decided by 1 score. Now, the good news is you were able to go 4-0 in that stretch, but even so, like, you want to make sure that that's not the way that you're living if you're a Texas fan going forward here. It can't be a thing where it's week in and week out trying to find a way. Like, at some point in time, we should look more dominant against Houston. We should look more dominant against TCU. And you did for the better part of 3 quarters. The Kansas State game kind of is what it is, but all things considered, like, you would like your roster to play to the level of their talent and finish to the level of their talent. So I think what it's going to come down to here, and this has been no secret, this has kind of been the test for Texas really since the Oklahoma game, is it's going to fall in this locker room to finish the season how you want to finish the season. It's at Iowa State, which is not an easy place to walk in and play now. That team, cockroach style, they will not die. You can just beat them over the head as many times as you want. But in Ames, that team is not going to go away. They're going to test Texas. They're going to make them play all 4 quarters. Cliche, I know, but that's what it's going to take. Then you got Texas Tech to finish the year. Here's the thing, though, that I want to make sure we highlight. Was it the prettiest game ever? No. Should you have beat TCU by more? Of course. We're all in agreement there. Texas should have kept their foot on the gas and handled the business the way they wanted to handle business. However, you now have your starting quarterback in Quinn Ewers back in the lineup, like we talked about before. The key for Texas, since he went down, was, can we tread water? Can we tread water until we get picked up again here and we're in business with Quinn Ewers running the show? They've now made it to that point. And I have some confidence now with Quinn Ewers back in the lineup that they're going to be able to kind of flip that switch back on to how they were playing before Red River and finish the year the way they want to. So that's kind of my prediction, if you will. Again, you got to stay healthy. Got to be able to keep this thing moving forward at the degree at which you expect. Like, there's a standard that has to be internal now. That locker room sets that standard. But for Texas, eyes are still on the prize. Everything you want to accomplish is still very much so intact. Still a lot in front of them, still everything in front of them. And oh, by the way, you're still probably toting the best win in the country with that work you did in Tuscaloosa, Alabama in week 2. So, with that being said, again, make sure you subscribe. Follow me on Twitter and on Instagram at JD Pickel to stay with every single thing that we got going on here on this channel, on this show, The Hard Count. Hey, we appreciate y'all. We love y'all. We're going to keep this party rolling. We'll see y'all next time. Hey, y'all. Thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also, be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.